Okay, so we had a little problem today. The first clues are the glass. So we see here that the bottoms of these two pieces of glass are not even, and also the gap between the two pieces of glass is no longer two parallel lines. They diverge towards the bottom. So something's up here. And then if we come down a little further, there's another one, kind of in the opposite direction. Here the glass, the left glass, come on, focus. Focus. The left glass is lower than the right glass. So something's up. And what's up is this bus contacted the underside of a bridge pier today. And so the shape of this should be convex, but it's concave. And so what happened is we turned under a low bridge pier. It made initial contact here, and we've lost about perhaps as much as 1/8 of an inch of the top of the rain gutter here has been just sheared off or scraped off. And so we made pretty hard contact here, and then the bridge pier went from kind of like hitting from the side to pressing the bus down towards the ground. So as it imposed the vertical down load on the bus, it pushed in these ribs. And the worst one is probably pushed in about maybe as much as 3/8 of an inch. And this is fairly serious damage. The big question is whether or not those ribs are still attached to the tube, the stainless steel tube that runs the length of the bus. So the question is, has the rib been deformed, or has it been detached, broken off of the tube? And so the thing is, those ribs go, there's two parallel tubes down the center, one on each side of the emergency hatch. So those ribs basically go from the outer rail to, you can actually see the bulge in the, from the bulge in the roof there where the two parallel rails are. So the rib goes from here to about here. And so it's pretty impractical to replace those ribs. You'd have to remove the entire roof skin to do anything there. That's kind of interesting damage. I don't know how that happened. That was before we bought it. And so now this rain gutter, this is one extrusion that extends up to here. And if you were to swing the window out, you'd find another line of rivets holding the same extrusion on. So the extrusion is on the side and the top. And the hinges for the glass are on this extrusion. So it's a pretty critical piece. And it doesn't seem like it's been displaced in any way. So we shaved some off of it. And then down there we shaved some more. But the rain gutter actually seems pretty straight still. Those ribs, I don't know what to think about that. I guess we need some kind of an opinion on whether that's something we need to worry about. If it is, my God, we're in for some big trouble here. And so the driver turned away from it, and the problem sort of ends at the bathroom window. But so one way to repair this would be to remove all the glass, you know, with the hinges, with the hinged plate still on them, and then drill out all of these rivets, and there's a heck of a lot of them. They look like they're on about maybe 4-inch centers. So that's 3 per foot for 40 feet. So 120 rivets times 2, 240 rivets, and then we would replace the extrusion. The thing is, I wonder whether these extrusions come drilled or not, and I wonder if they do come drilled, I wonder if the holes line up. But even if they do, the roof line isn't flat down there anymore, so things wouldn't exactly, the elevations wouldn't all match up. And so one possibility here is that we might just want to treat this as a cosmetic issue and fill these with Bondo and repaint like this band all the way from the front to the back, and I'd say with not with glossy paint, and that would help conceal some of this a little bit, some of these problems a little bit. And I'm going to move the ladder and see what happens when I pound on the ribs. I don't know if I'll learn anything from that or not. I'm a little concerned about the fact that the windows are a little out of whack. I hope we're not stuck with leaky, noisy windows for the rest of the life of this bus. Okay, so here's a rib this is the one that's depressed most severely. And I don't think I'm imposing enough of a load to really learn anything. It feels pretty solid to me. So I guess one thing we could do is take a look at the exploded view and see how those members are really set up. Okay, stand by just a second. Okay, here we go, body. Front step well. Cap front and rear installation. Side panels. Window finishing cap and wall. Remind me to cut this out of the video. Okay, this is the front upper structure, but it gives us some clues. So there's the main structural member, which is composed of 3 parts, I guess. And so the rib, it looks like the rib might rest the top edge of the
tube that forms the rib might rest on top of that main structural member. So this is pretty rigid. I guess this was able to bear the load pretty well, but the rib couldn't take it, so the rib bent inward a little bit. And it looks to me like that rib, it's hard to say if these stringers end at the rib and start again on the other side of the rib, meaning that the rib would be one piece. I imagine that's probably the case. So that's really bad, because that means that we're just stuck with this. There's no practical way to repair the roof bows, or whatever you want to call them, and there's probably really no reason to. Alright, well anyhow, so this bus experienced some accelerated aging today. That's what I would say about that. Poor bus. So I guess I just mainly need to worry about those windows. I hope they don't leak. Oh, one other thing that might be interesting to look at is so here this window is kind of bulging out at the bottom corner there. That is the third window. So let's take a look at that. One, two, three. So let's see if it operates properly. No problem there. If I can drop my camera, that would be a nice finish to the day. So up there you can see the rivets that hold the gutter in place. And here's a structural member. And I mean, nothing's deformed. The steel's not deformed in any way. Wow, that must have been quite an experience for the people riding right here. So, how is the window shifted down? I suppose the rivets could be somewhat sheared. That feels like it's flat. Hard to say. Alright, well, what we have here is an injury that will be with the bus for the rest of its life. And we're going to need to fix the cosmetic, fix the symptoms. So that means cleaning up the shredded aluminum and painting this band. And it only makes, I think it kind of makes sense to paint this band at the same time, otherwise they won't match. And then we're going to have to put Bondo in the gouge and paint the entire white part of the gutter. I guess an argument could be made that we could paint the whole thing black, as we have done on 1501, and it looks kind of nice. I'm afraid though, if we paint this part black, that it's going to really show the defects, like back here where we won't be adding Bondo. And so I think what we would do is use not matte but satin white here, and then we'll just use gloss black for this. But I don't have a color match on the upper parts of this bus, so that's yet another thing to worry about. I guess I should really be glad that this didn't turn out a lot worse than it did. See, here we've got that pretty noticeable mismatch in the glass height. And you can see that clearly these lines converge as you get to the top. And that makes sense because there's a pretty big rib smush here. But see, we've got this big puffy gasket, and it doesn't really matter if the glass is parallel or not parallel here. Okay, so we also have a little damage on the cap there. I guess I'd be inclined just to maybe brush paint that. So on this bus, the ass cap doesn't match the lower panels, so the upper part here does not match the rear door or the lower panels. I didn't really want to spend any money on this thing. I suppose we could repaint the cap. But if we do that, then I'm going to want to repaint the signboard, and then we've spent a bunch of money that we didn't want to. Then also we got some scratches here. Shoot, I don't know. All right, I got to end this video at some point, 16 minutes, so I'm going to do it here.